Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi!
What's up? How's it
Virtual
going?
hug.
I know, virtual hug. How are you?
I'm good, I guess. Things
I
consider, all things consider, I'm good. I'm alive.
considering
So,
the state of the world right now.
yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm so happy to see you. It's been so long.
I know. Oh my God. It's only been
Yeah,
like what, 4 or 5 years?
I know.
So,
So, as you know, this is going to be on our podcast, on my
okay.
podcast. Okay. But so I want to tell everybody about how we know each other and, that you came and visited. So, this is Maria. So she, hey, so we met each other in the Philippines in 2013. We volunteered together. Right. So I was actually trying to dig up some photos and things of, on the top of the jeepney and stuff. So anyway, we met in 2013. We volunteered together, and then you came up and visited me. When was that? 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
2016, and then you're like, okay, there's all these hikes, all these places that I need to go see in Canada, and honestly, a lot of them, like the place that we went to, Joffrey Lakes, that was the first time I'd actually ever hiked it. Was with you.
Oh,
Isn't that
good.
wild? Yeah. And I felt like a tourist in my own freaking country, when you came. So it was pretty cool. I'm glad that we did that.
Yeah, I was tired. I was knackered at the end of that trip. I regretted saying I wanted to hike every day.
So it's like, is there nothing like that out there where you are? Because you're in Houston,
Oh,
now,
of
right?
course not. No, we don't have any parks, and that's partly why I'm just like, okay, it's time to leave Maria because there's nothing
Mhm.
like that here. It's flat and humid and hot,
And just
mosquitoes, and
mosquitoes. Oh my
yeah,
god.
I mean, it keeps me young, all that humidity and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. But
And here I am all cracky and like
yeah,
dry, right? All this
yeah,
hand sanitizer and hand washing.
yes, yeah. So, yeah, I don't have anything like that. It's just so
Mhm.
beautiful, and sometimes I just want to go for a long hike, and I can't. It's like
Yeah.
I have to go for a long run instead.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Your long hike is all just on one flat grade, right? That's
no
cool.
mountains, no
Uh,
views. It's just a mountain of traffic.
oh
That's all
yeah,
you
that's
get.
fair. So how
Yeah.
are things going with you now? Before we talk about the state of the world right now. So you were doing the rodeos for a little while,
Yeah,
right?
I quit.
Ah.
Yeah, it was a hard decision
Mm,
uh, because I just got a point in my job that I'm like, okay, I need to make a move and I need to move now.
mm.
Whether I have a job lined up or not, I just need to do it because I wasn't learning, I wasn't growing anymore, and I just felt like I was suffocating.
Mm.
So I made the leap, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was scary. It was scary to not have something lined up, but
Mm.
honestly, I just felt so relieved, like I could just breathe again.
Yeah.
Yeah, being broke sucks, but honestly, the
I get
stress and just
mm,
it just brings you down when you have a job that you don't love, and
mm.
it just numbs you.
Right.
So I'm glad I'm done.
How many years ago was that now that you stopped working the rodeos?
Oh, I recently did it like a few months ago.
Oh, that was recent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bad timing, right?
Oh my god, it's so true. But I mean, like, is there gonna be a rodeo anyway? Like, when does the rodeo normally happen?
They actually canceled it because of the
Yeah.
coronavirus.
So whether you did all this planning and all this work or not, it wouldn't have happened
No,
anyway,
like
which
I'm
is
like,
really
oh my
sad.
God. I mean, yes. Oh, it is. It was sad because it was 2 weeks, a week ago
Yeah.
that they closed it. It's like the
Mhm.
mayor came and made a broadcast like we're shutting down the rodeo, and it was just so heartbreaking to see because I've known a lot of people. Like I dealt with the vendors, right? So I
Mhm.
had over 360 vendors that I oversaw, and they were like my kids, and I knew their stories, like I knew where they came from,
Yeah.
and I knew that some of these vendors, like this is the only show that they did, and that
Yeah.
was it. That was their livelihood for their
Right.
entire year.
Oh,
So the rodeo went on a week and a half,
mm.
or less than a week and a half, and then they shut it down.
Okay.
So keep in mind, like this show brings so much money to the Houston economy just in those 3 weeks, and then like they have shows prior to the event. But then you have, so what this show is, what the rodeo is, if some, I'm not sure if this is something that happens in Canada, but we have what they call Future Farmers of America.
Okay.
And it's what like kids buy these animals in the year in advance, 6 months in advance.
Oh.
and
Okay.
they invest so much money. Okay, so a steer can cost you like $1,000 or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Plus the food, the vaccines, everything. They spent thousands of dollars
Mm.
just so they can show their animal in hopes of getting money for like
Like
scholarships.
a prize or something. Oh, okay, scholarships. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So all those kids,
Oh
oh
man.
my God, it just sorry, but
No.
it's thousands of kids that like won't have that opportunity,
Yeah.
right? And just even my vendors, like they spend thousands of dollars just to get here, like from
Mm.
like paying electricity contractors, like rent, lodging, thousands of dollars just before they even get here. So they
Right.
lost all of that, and on top of that, like they're not gonna make, they're not even gonna break even. Like I'm sure
Right.
they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just heartbreaking to see because I know them and I've met, like I've interacted them with them at a personal level. So it was just
Right.
hard to see. But anyway, so yeah, they shut it down.
Mm.
And it's been that was the day where like Houston went crazy. Like it just
When the rodeo
literally,
shut down, when they're like, okay,
yeah,
not happening anymore.
yeah.
Really?
Because you know everything was getting shut down. Like Coachella, I think at the time they were deciding whether they were going to cancel or not.
Mm.
Like events were shutting down, and people were like questioning why hasn't the rodeo shut down? Like why did they keep going? Because thousands of people attend a day, like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we were wondering, everyone was wondering, like there was petitions out there already, like shut down the rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And for them to shut it down, it meant a lot. Like it meant serious business. So
Mm.
that day, like I literally just like rushed to HEB. HEB is like our main grocery store in Houston. We all rushed, and literally there was like a traffic line just to find parking.
Oh my gosh.
The day
Oh.
they announced that we're shutting down the rodeo, that's it. So that was like for us, it was like, oh shit, like the
Mm.
rodeo is shutting down. This is serious.
Right. Right.
Um, so it was like I was there. I went to the store with my mom, and I was literally having a panic attack because she was wanting to go like Sam's and Costco and like HEB,
Yeah.
and it was just like a madhouse. Like it was worse than going through a hurricane. Like
Oh my
stockpiling for a
gosh.
hurricane, it was nothing compared to this.
Right.
And we do a few of those a year.
A year.
But yeah, but this is just, it was, I think it's worse than the hurricane in the sense that we're waiting longer and we
Mm.
don't know when it's gonna end. Like we
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's this factor of uncertainty. Like we don't know. Like a hurricane is, it'll last what, like a couple days, a few days,
mhm,
perhaps.
a
Whereas this is
week.
like maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Who knows, right? So I was, I felt really terrible when you were just sharing that part about the kids, because this is very far-reaching. You would never think that kids would be financially affected by something like this, because they're like, oh yeah, they just go to school and they get to hang out at home. But no, like some of them, they have activities that they've invested things into, like you were saying, that they've lost out on, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, now what do they do? And that was an activity perhaps, and potential, I guess, like you were saying, scholarships, potential money from that they've lost out on too. So when the rodeo was still going on, was there already word out? I'm sure it was, about the some coronavirus, over in China, and everyone's still kind of status quo, right? What was going
Yeah.
on at that point?
No, it was like it had hit Washington
Hmm.
at the time, and I was curious. I'm like, I'm just trying to stay at home and not catch the virus.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. I was worried even before it got here because I lived in China, as you know, and like I have a friend
right.
that's still in China that I'm still close with. So I tend to not pay attention too much to the media because they tend to uh,
Blow it
I
up.
just, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So I reached out to my friend. I'm like, hey, is this true? Like, I've been seeing like they're trying to hunt out where it came from, like found on ground zero, and they were going to like markets and stuff. I'm like, man, if this hits the US, like we're fucked, right? And he's like, yeah, this is true. So he was
yeah.
sending me videos like how they were all locked down, like no one was allowed to leave, like people in masks and stuff, like in suits, like
Right.
walking around. So he was already like shut down, like he couldn't go
This
out.
was how long ago?
This was like in late January.
Oh, okay. So over almost 2 months ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
They
this
were
was
shut
like,
down at that point. Okay, this is
yeah,
cool.
I started like in December, like
Okay.
watching, like following this. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is really gonna happen. Like, I'm
Right.
scared. Like,
Yeah.
I stopped going to Chinatown. Like, I stopped going, mainly because you don't know. Like, they might have it because I don't know if they've been out of town or not, right?
That's true. That's so true.
So I was just being cautious about it. I'm like, oh my God. And it's crawfish season in Houston. Okay.
Mhm.
So I love crawfish. The best crawfish is in Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Okay. Uh, so for me to give that up, it was hard. But anyways, yeah, by the time it got here, I was concerned that the rodeo was still happening. I'm like, okay, it's already here.
Right.
You should really, like, in my mind, I didn't express this to anyone
Yeah, you
or
were
my
thinking, yeah.
former colleagues. Yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be bad. Like,
Yeah.
this is coming. It's already here. It hit Washington, I think,
Mhm.
and that's when they were trying to close down, and people started working from home. I'm like, okay, and then the president kept downplaying it, like, oh, it's
Mhm.
gonna pass, whatever. I'm like, okay. And then it gets here, and then we
Right.
get a case in Houston, and that's when, even after we got a case, they didn't close it down immediately.
Mhm.
It was after there was a person that they couldn't track where he got it from, that they shut it down.
I
And then
see.
he went to an event.
A rodeo event?
It's called, yes, it's called the barbecue cook-off.
Okay.
Popular event. It's what it is. It's a barbecue competition,
Yeah.
and it goes on for like 3 or 4 days, the weekend before the show starts. Um, and he went. So what it is like tons of tents, free booze, food, and everything. You just have to You just have to know someone, right?
Right.
You have to have connections to get in. And it's tons of people attend. Most people that attend prefer the barbecue cook-off as opposed to the show, because it's just wild, right?
There's food too, right?
Yeah, free food and booze. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
say no to that, right? So that's when they just decided to
Mhm.
immediately shut down, because this guy had gone to the barbecue cook-off. There was no information. No one knew. Like, apparently he didn't know which tent he went to.
Right.
So that was him. So the city officials told the rodeo, you got to shut it down. Like,
Mm.
you just have to.
Okay.
And there was a conference. This has happened like
Yeah.
last week or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And they just shut it down. So I'm like, and
Yeah.
then I started to think, I'm like, how much money could you prevented people from losing had you not started the show to begin with,
Mhm.
right? So I'm like, oh man, I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, here's the thing now is that I think we've obviously, like North America, we've caught on a little bit delayed, and yeah, there's a bit of downplaying from the governments and things like that, and or perhaps a lot to what's actually out there, and that's why I like talking to people like you who are like, this is what's happening in Houston. I talked to someone who's in Italy right now and what's going on. Like, she can express exactly what's happening. It's not filtered by the government and the press and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I'm sure that's why
yeah.
you reached out to your friend in China, but like. Um, at what point is that? I'm sure there's a tipping point between making everyone aware and also like not causing panic and kind of trying to minimize. So do you think that maybe they were just a little bit slow on the making people aware because this is happening and it's here?
Yeah, well, ah, see, when I first heard the case in Houston, I was a bit paranoid. I'm like, can you give me more information?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you're telling us that you have this person that supposedly has it. You're not telling me where, how, or anything. Like, I want to know.
I
How about
need
if
to
I
know
know
this.
him?
Yeah.
Yes. So apparently the first case was an older gentleman, I think like in his 60s or 70s, that had gone on a cruise in Egypt.
Okay.
And that's how he was the first case in Houston. Known case. I don't know.
Right. Of course.
Uh,
No, yeah.
yeah, so there's a couple of people in that same cruise ship were also tested positive for the coronavirus.
Gosh.
And that's when it just started like this domino effect. Okay.
Snowballing.
But it's like that took like a few days or even a week before even telling us that they went to a cruise ship in Egypt. Like,
Yeah.
how about if they were on a plane? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like I need to know.
Right.
Clearly, maybe if I was in some way connected to him, maybe I would have been informed, like maybe on a
Right.
flight. I don't know
Yeah. Yeah.
because I
Totally.
wasn't, but I hope that they did something like that. But that was when I was a bit frustrated with like
Mhm.
the Houston media. I'm like, okay, you're panicking. You're making me panic now, but you're not telling me anything. Like,
Right.
tell me something just so I can feel some sort of relief, right? Just
Like,
tell me he went on a cruise in Egypt. Okay, I know for sure I didn't go, so I'm safe, right? But
right.
nothing was
Where's he
any.
been? Like, what's he done? And
Yeah.
especially because you are a part of the massive event in Houston, you don't know if you've had contact with him. So what you're doing, so your role in the rodeo, are you in contact with like hundreds of people a day?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I so before I started the rodeo, I feel like I was very friendly and I love crowds and going out and
Right.
not anymore. Like
Oh my gosh.
I can't stand crowds. Like I just rather be at home. So the
Because of the
rodeo,
rodeo.
yeah. So the rodeo definitely prepared me for this. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay with self-isolation. Like I'm fine. I need that break and that distance from people. So
Mhm.
after the show, I go into this human interaction detox. It's what
Okay.
I call it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
call it.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
So I don't, because my job was like literally just answering so many questions and putting fires. Like constantly, my phone was blowing up,
Oh
like
my
emails,
gosh.
everything, right?
Right.
And after the show, like I take a month where I don't even touch my phone. I don't watch any news. I don't
Yeah.
talk to anyone. I don't nothing. Like
Mhm.
just I need some human interaction detox. Like just me, myself, and I, and
Yeah.
catch up on sleep, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all. So,
I think everyone needs to do that. It doesn't matter what you do. I think it's important, but we're kind of in this situation now where we're forced to do it. And you're like, I'm good. I like being here. I'm happy. You seen that meme where it's like when everyone's in quarantine, but this is like real life for you on a daily?
yes, that's totally me. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for
Yeah,
this.
I've been
Like,
preparing for this all my life.
yeah, like I'm good.
So how has it affected you? Obviously, you said you kind of do this human interaction detox anyway after, but how has it affected you? Perhaps mental health state wise. Like, are you good right now? Are you feeling like you're in a good place because it's been only a week or so since you've stopped human interaction, or are you kind of feeling a little on the edge now? Because for me, I'm kind of on edge. I need to talk to people, otherwise I'm gonna you know pass out from I don't know what it is, lack of human interaction.
Yeah, no, I do like to, for example, I like to go run. And
Mm,
now I just have to be like cautious of it. Like I like to be out and like out and about, but I don't need to be necessarily with people. Like I'm fine being alone.
true, true, true.
Uh, but just like seeing people, it's nice. But now you go to the park and I'm like, okay, well, I have to wake up at this time to go at this time so I don't see as many
Mhm.
people. Because people right now are still going out and like running or out in the park. And um, the park during the day is a little bit more crowded because everyone's working from home.
I see.
Um, so it's like, okay, well, where were you 2 weeks ago, sir?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Oh my
now
goodness.
you want to pick up running? I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
totally. No, seriously, right?
I
But
give props to everyone. Like, go out there and it's good for your mental health, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
it's just like do something like that. But
Yeah,
it hasn't really affected me much.
that's good.
Grocery shopping definitely is just like I don't I don't want to deal with it. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a headache. So I mentioned HEB earlier, and it's one of our biggest like grocery stores, and they're pretty much all over Texas. I don't think there's one in Dallas, but um, they made it was Kroger's, like a few grocery stores made a newscast, a news broadcast. So they
Mhm.
were saying like, we have food, don't go and stockpile. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you keep saying that, but I go and the
There's
shelves are empty.
nothing.
Like, are you lying to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's going on? Be honest.
Yeah,
Like really,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of hard to believe that you can't restock at least one row or something
Mm,
because it's literally empty. I'm like, okay, should I be worried? Because you're telling me something different and I'm seeing
mhm.
something different. Like,
Right.
there's no toilet paper. Like, what are we gonna do?
Also, you know what's funny about this, and I keep talking. And anyone I talk to, I was like, "What is the obsession with toilet paper? Why does everyone panic? Why? I mean, if you were to go and like stock up on whatever it is, why not things that'll sustain you? What the hell's up with the toilet paper? Like,
I have
I could
no
wipe my
idea.
ass with so many other things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'm lucky that I have a son because he's got baby wipes. Now everyone knows go get baby wipes because there's no toilet paper. I got
Make
baby
sure they're
wipes.
flushable, though. Make
Oh
sure
yeah,
they're flushable.
right. Fair enough. That's true. But point is, what's with the obsession, right?
I have no idea. It was probably no. I have no idea where it came from because
Yeah.
you can definitely use something else. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be toilet paper.
How's your household though? You guys good with the
Yeah,
toilet paper? Which,
yeah. I mean, we're actually running low,
uh-oh.
but we don't like. I think we'll be fine.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You always figure something out. So
Well,
I'm not too concerned.
what's crazy here? I'm sure you guys have Costco's down there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Costco, it's very central to where I live. If you need to buy anything, in bulk, that's where you go. You go to Costco.
Mhm.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a video that went viral of people. Actually, it was an employee. As soon as Costco opened, people are running with carts right to the far corner where the toilet paper is, and like stock like 2 carts full of toilet paper, and those things are like what 40 in a package.
Mhm.
How are you gonna do with this, right? I get it. Like, you gotta wipe your ass somehow, but what's the obsession? And then so there's that, and hand sanitizer or soap and all that stuff. I mean, like, it's too much panic too soon, and I just don't understand the obsession. So anyway, you're obviously seeing similar things there with all
Yeah.
that stuff.
I know there's been like on the news price gouging, like this person got caught and he's gonna be prosecuted. I'm like,
Yeah.
yay, haha, sucks for you.
Asshole.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, yes. So now he was giving it for free out of his garage. I'm like, good, that's
Yeah,
karma for
serves you right.
you. But anyways, yeah, there's stuff like that happening on it. And I'm like, that's just sad. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, can't you just be a decent human being? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I'm not, honestly, I'm not too, now that it's here,
Yeah.
I'm not as worried. I think I'm more worried for like my mom catching it or,
That's true.
because she's older. But me, I'm like, I'm okay. I think I have a strong immune system that if I were
Mhm.
to catch it, like, I probably should be fine. Knock on
Yeah.
wood, right? But
Yeah.
like I don't. I'm not scared as I was before I even
Yeah.
got here. Like I'm okay mentally. Like I think I'm more worried about what's gonna happen afterwards
Yeah. Yeah.
because like Houston, it's known for like oil and gas, right?
Mm,
We're like the energy capital of the world, so that's affecting us also. Like a
right.
bunch of layoffs. Yeah, gas is cheap, but that also comes with like
Costs
job.
elsewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, people are starting to lose their jobs. I think that's
Mhm.
that's the sad part. Like, how long is it gonna take? Like, how long are the consequences going to last? That's what really just the thought about it depresses me.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, that's what I'm more concerned about
I see.
now.
hmm
Uh,
we have a province next door to us. It's Alberta. I don't know if I'm sure you're
mhm,
familiar with Alberta, but
mhm.
they're kind of the oil and gas, kind of the energy capital of Canada. I mean, that's kind of where their bread and butter is, and much like Texas and Houston. And so, yeah, everyone's seeing all these gas prices, the lowest that they've been in like 10 years. Everyone's like, oh, this is great. But yeah, what's the side effect of that? And really, I'm not educated enough to know kind of the macroeconomic effects and what's come into play to bring the oil prices down. I think there's just an oversupply, and that's what's happening. But the people who are working in this industry are the ones that are being affected as well. And I mean, really every industry. So how are they being going to be protected or supported, right? Especially for a city like yours that's very dependent on that.
Yeah. Well, so I've learned like I've I'm a Houstonian, right? Born and raised, and I've seen this like oil and gas. The industry is very cyclical, right?
Mhm.
So I've seen like a lot of layoffs throughout my lifetime, right? Just due to oil and gas prices, and it's a different atmosphere. I feel like in Houston, like I can sense it
Mhm.
because people lose their jobs. You might have a great paying, awesome job, you
Mm.
might lose it the next month. Like, you don't know.
It's so true.
So it's a bit sad just to even think about, like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen in Houston, like,
Yeah.
and like how long is it gonna take for us to recover? Um, so anyways, it's just depressing to even think about it.
I know. I hear you. I hear you. And I mean, it's almost like I mean, I have this, I guess, mini obsession with keeping on top of things. I think just as a kid, my mom always watched the news. So, and when you came and visited me, I think every night we had the news on.
Yeah.
And it was just a habit. At 11 o'clock, we had news on. You know, I try to stay on top of it, and I think it really is just a part of it. Is just I need to know, and then I'm good. It doesn't affect me that way. But the communication here is that, okay, well, regardless of who you are, whether you are eligible for employment insurance or you're self-employed like us, as personal trainers and things, we're going to help you. So I don't know what President Trump has said for you guys, and I know you're smiling, you're laughing, and you're shaking your head. What is the communication from the top, and what is actually happening on the ground? Like, is there anything like sent, decentrally from Houston or the state of Texas? What's going on?
No.
Answer is no, nothing.
I just so you're not editing this, right?
No, no, and you can say whatever the heck you want. It's fine.
I'm just trying to. It's just when it comes to politics, I get really riled up, and I'm just. I get really emotional and passionate about it. Then I just rather, so if I say something that's just offensive, just cut me out or tell me,
Okay,
hey,
got it.
And no, he's a freaking idiot.
Mhm.
He's just not a leader. Like,
Mm.
putting like politics aside, like whether he's Republican or Democrat, he's just not a leader. He's just dumb as fuck. Like, he's just like, it amazes me that one, he started downplaying it since the beginning, and whether he was doing it for it not to affect the market, sorry sir, our market is, it's too late. Right. And it's like, you keep downplaying it, and then you put like every day there's like this little briefing, right? And he just says the dumbest shit. Like, this guy has an ego problem. Like, okay, like, and then there's talks about how he wants to bail out like pretty much companies, just like what Obama did. I'm like, okay, like, help out the people, like the people. Those are the ones that are losing their job, not corporate America. Hey, he, the CEO of whatever Goldman Sachs he's probably not gonna have his new yacht that he was eyeing 6 months ago, right? But the people that are struggling, that I got laid off, like, won't even be able to make the bills. Like, it's just frustrating how our government right now is just so, it's gridlocked and nothing's getting done. I think yesterday they had a bailout that they were going to give like people, like, I think $1,200 a month or something. And the Democrats apparently just denied it because it was going to give more money to corporate America, which doesn't surprise me, right? Republicans right now, Republicans and Democrats are just, I hate both of them.
Well, I mean, in Texas, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're predominantly Republican. Is that right?
Yeah. So now, the Senate is, the majority are Republicans holding, so they get to decide. They're the ones that decided not to impeach Trump, or not impeach him, but like
proceed with the impeachment.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you have the Democrats, which is just a bunch of. I was the Yang supporter, like Yang all the way down. Like, I like his ideas. I like where he was going. I like how he was trying to revamp our government, and like the stuff that he was trying to implement to make the government more freaking efficient. Like, let's catch up, because it's sad to see that we are the most powerful nation in the world, whatever. But yeah, we feel like sometimes we're backwards. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, America, get with the program. Like, you don't even see this shit in third world countries. Like, that is what's frustrating. Like, that's absolutely frustrating, that how my government works is just.
Well, now I've stressed you out. But you know what,
It's
though? You know what? Like, I think every government has their challenges, and I'm going to try to be as, like, neutral on this topic as possible, because it's very easy to get polarized, right?
yeah,
Honestly, in Canada, U.S. politics is far more interesting. There's more U.S.
because of the
politics.
drama.
Yeah, I mean, it really has kind of become a reality show, and I mean that's why Trump is doing so well, perhaps, right? So well, so to speak, and that's how perhaps he got to where he is now. But the optics, I think, from a global perspective of what the U.S. is doing, and it's unfortunate, because I think, again, this is what the media gravitates to, such as like spring breakers and people just kind of hanging out, not taking this thing seriously. And then so that's out there in the world. I mean, I'm seeing it from up here.
Hmm.
And so what kind of things are they putting into place now? Like, I mean, in Florida they've shut everything down, but people are still milling about. I mean,
Yeah.
have they done anything more seriously in Texas, in Houston? Is there anything more to keep people indoors?
So I didn't answer this question to your prior question. I'm sorry. Um, so we're getting more information as to
Mm,
what to do from our local governments,
I
meaning
see.
like our mayor, um, our county judge, as opposed to like the president. We don't.
Yeah, right.
There's no point in listening to him. He just contradicts himself all
Mm,
the time.
mm,
So it's our local government. Or
got it.
so I know Dallas put what is it? You're not allowed to go out in Dallas, like as of
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay.
Houston hasn't implemented that yet.
Mm,
They mentioned it this morning, and they're considering it possibly this evening. That might happen.
I see.
I hope it doesn't,
Yeah, yeah.
um, because I think I mentioned that I don't go out as much, but just knowing that I don't have that option anymore,
Yeah. Well, true.
it's just it messes up with my psyche.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
It would
so
most people, I think,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because now I want it. Now that I can't have it, I want it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's just how our brains work, unfortunately,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So last week they shut down restaurants. Like you couldn't dine
Mm,
in anymore. You can't dine in restaurants. What restaurants were doing or are doing pickup orders. Like, and that seems to be helping. But I mean, obviously, the service industry is suffering right now.
yeah.
Um, and then no bars or clubs; those are closed. People are still out and about. The only good thing about this is traffic is not as bad
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people are working from home.
Yeah.
And then I mean, like grocery stores are open, Marshalls is open.
Mm,
Like some stuff is still happening, but not it's not as crowded like on a normal day. It's
right.
very minimal. And I think some people are taking like precautions. They'd rather stay at home. And
Yeah.
I know they just opened like two more testing facilities, so you can drive up, right? But you have
Oh,
to
really?
show,
Okay.
yeah, you have to show they just opened two more. They had two like a week ago, and one was for health professionals that they were only allowed to go, like only
I
health
see.
professionals, I think. So and now a county judge mentioned that they finally got the funds from the federal government and they opened two more, and like each of them can screen I think 250
Oh, okay.
people a day.
Okay.
So that's what, like 500 people a day for
Mm-hmm.
those two.
The two.
So they're screening that, but you have to show symptoms and you have to go online or something. And I'm like, well, how about if it's an old person that doesn't know how to use the internet?
Mm.
Like,
How do they get around? What happens?
yeah, like stuff like that. I'm like, okay. But they're just they have a press every morning, and honestly, I think at this point I'm just gonna stop watching it because
It
it's
can get kind of addictive, right? A little bit.
yes, but then it really does affect you. I mean, at least for me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they were mentioning like how many cases are up, and I don't think we're doing as bad as other like states, and I think
Yeah.
it's because we're so spread out. Texas is so big,
Oh, I see.
right?
I see. Geographically, you just have a lot of space, is what you're saying. I see. Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
we complain that we have to drive. Oh, well, when outsiders come and they say, "Oh, you got to drive everywhere," I'm like, "Well, I think it's helping us now because,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
yeah, because I think in the state of Texas we have like 7 or 9 deaths so far,
Okay.
which in comparison, it's very low to like Washington and other states that are
Right.
really in the thick of it.
Yeah.
But like we're doing decently, and I think in Harris, I think we only have like 27 cases or
Mhm.
so.
Right.
Like Harris County is Houston, so it's
Oh,
like
I
a
see.
county.
Okay.
And there's various counties that us natives consider part of Houston, so we're
Mhm.
just geographically we're big, right?
I see.
But I think we're okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it could get worse,
Could get
right?
worse. And
So they
I think that's where everyone is right now, especially at this side of the world, like North America. We're kind of in this holding pattern where just do your part, stay at home, because I think we haven't quite hit the tipping point yet, right? People may be carrying it, walking around, and now, okay, now you got to stay home. But all the walking around that you were doing last week, high fiving people and all this stuff, you probably just pass it on and exponentially it's grown. And none of us are showing symptoms yet. And to be honest, that's a concern that I have. I mean, for on multiple fronts. Firstly, Washington, as you said, has the highest cases, I think, in the states. Am I right?
I
Right,
think so.
Washington State. I think it's up there, right? I can't remember the specific numbers. Obviously, it changes daily, but I mean, it's right down. It's down south. Like we're like a 15-minute drive from the border, and only until the end of last week did Prime Minister Trudeau say, "Hey, no borders." Or they had closed the borders for non-essential travel, and U.S. people could still come up, and then
Mhm.
eventually they closed it for non-essential travel, so trade can still happen. But up until last week, there was still crossing for non-essential reasons, even like U.S. citizens coming up. So if you're in Seattle and you were coming up and touching everything, you could have very easily passed it along, right? So when all those cases were coming down, I feel like they could have just said, "Hey, blanket, just to be safe, let's just close down the borders. No U.S. people coming up. If you're a Canadian, you got to come back home. We'll let you back in." But I mean, that
But
just
how
came
long
down
are they? How long are they closing the border?
indefinitely. I mean, they haven't said specifically, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, goods and things are still coming across, up and down. But
Mhm.
at least they've closed the borders now for any travel. Like I can't even go down there just to go to Trader Joe's anymore.
I mean, I'm thinking like, how about because this has always been like an issue
Mm.
or talked about how some Americans go up to Canada to buy their cheap medicine, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what's going to happen now? Like
right,
insulin is so expensive, like,
right.
and they rely on crossing the border to Canada to. I mean, that's
Interesting. That's interesting. Actually, that's a thought that's never even crossed my mind because people do this out of necessity, right?
Mhm.
And they don't have that ability to now. And I don't know. I've seen like ads and things of Canadian pharmaceuticals that you can buy online. So I don't know what the legalities of that is, but
yeah,
perhaps it's probably going to be the way that they need to go. But that's an interesting point that you make because some people need these things and they won't be able to get it now. So how do you support these people? Right.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, we can't do that because our healthcare system sucks. But that's for another story,
Another
right? But
conversation.
yeah, it's like so. Do you think this happened because I know his wife was diagnosed, right? She was tested positive for coronavirus.
Our prime minister here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Do,
do you think that might have been the reason why? I'm like, okay, we're shutting it down.
I don't know. I think he's been in self isolation now for over a week, and I think that decision came after the fact.
Mhm.
But I think it brought it closer to home because he really could only operate and do his job from home. So because it was so relevant or close to him, I mean, who knows? Maybe he has it now too. I mean, presumably because he's in close contact with his wife. But I think that helped accelerate the things that they've decided that they needed to do because it's
Mhm.
right in front of him. Our health minister, I think the federal health minister, is saying that the country as a whole still isn't taking it seriously enough. There was some footage of people at the beach, especially Vancouver. Like we got beaches, we got mountains, everyone goes out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, people just hanging out at the beach, taking in the sun. And today, actually, he came on saying, with a more serious tone, saying, you know what, you guys abide by this, or we have to put in more stringent measures to keep you indoors, right? And that's where Italy is now, and I feel like we are heading in that direction. right? That
Mhm.
friend that I spoke to in Italy, she said that they've got people in like military vehicles, like with their automatic weapons, just like making sure you're not outside. And if you do need to go outside, you have to show some sort of documentation to say I'm allowed to be here. Like, who wants that? Nobody, right? That's
That's
scary as
insane.
hell, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's like what like your life just changes before it just it's crazy how much and like you mentioned, you don't even show symptoms.
Mhm.
Like for example, here in Houston, it's flu season, right? And on top of that, we have allergy season because there's
Right.
so much pollen. And it's similar symptoms. Like, how do
Yeah.
I know? Like right now I have a cough.
Mm.
Is it like
You
is
got
it
it.
allergies?
You don't know. Well, you
Or
don't.
is it coronavirus? I don't know. Like, which one is it? I feel okay, but
Mm-hmm.
I could have the virus. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a bit worrisome where I'm like, okay, how do I know? How do I distinguish it? Unless I can't breathe,
Yeah.
um, that's the only way to find
Yeah.
out if you have it, which is sad because by the time you can't breathe, you need
It's
to
too
be rushed to
late.
the hospital. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of hard to distinguish it, especially it was just the wrong time for this to happen. Like
For sure.
you got the flu season, you have the allergy season, and now you have this. Like
Yeah. How do you
it,
figure it out? Would
it's
you? Can you gauge? I know you say you go out for runs and stuff. You like to do the marathons and things, but like when you're out
mhm.
and about, when you're doing this stuff on your own, what kind of vibe do you get out in the like in the roads, in the streets and stuff? Are people generally being respectful of all this social distancing and things like that, or what?
I I mean, so I went to the park like what 2 days ago. I went for
Hmm.
like a quick run, and it's like Memorial Loop. It's a popular spot. It's like at any time you can go run. So it's the place to go if you just want to go for a quick run. It's a 3 mile loop. And it was packed to be honest. And it was Saturday at like around 8 a.m. And I actually had to like do a different route because I felt like it was too crowded. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm just gonna go a different
Around
route.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was surprised, but I mean, people still. I
Mm.
go to stores. It's where I'm like,
Hmm.
don't breathe on me, please.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Are they handing out wipes? Have they given you some gloves? Like, are they suggesting those things? Like, how
yeah, yeah.
cautious are these businesses now too?
So I haven't gone to any grocery stores like in the last few days. I
Yeah,
did go
yeah.
to like Chinatown because I was running low on like my dumplings
Oh my
and
gosh, you
like
gotta
my
get them
sauce.
dumplings. Yeah,
Yeah, and my spicy sauce. I'm like, oh, I had to go. And luckily it was like so we call it Chinatown because the signs are even in Mandarin, right?
right.
So I like to go usually because they have like the cheapest massages. And like as a runner, I used to go like weekly when I'm training for
Yeah.
marathon. So $25 for like an hour long
Wow, really?
massage, right? Yeah, like
That's
25. Yeah,
insanely cheap.
yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I would go weekly, right? Every weekend after my long run. I'm like, okay, time massage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I would always be so frustrated because it was so hard to find parking spot. Literally, you were on the parking lot for like 20, 30 minutes trying to find
Just
one.
trying to get a spot.
Yeah. I went Saturday,
Yeah.
empty,
Oh
like
my
completely
gosh.
empty. And it was 8 o'clock. Completely empty. I'm like, oh, this is the only good thing about it. But like now
Yeah.
I can't go get my massage because they shut it down, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
but I went to the store and it was completely empty. And that's one thing that I do feel like bad about like what Chinatown is going through. Like there's
Mhm.
a lot of small businesses and even before it started, like we even had people being diagnosed with coronavirus, people stopped going.
Yeah.
And they were suffering. Like and they were the only stores that have toilet paper. Yeah. And
Oh,
food.
man.
And I thought it was so I took my mom with me and she's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, they have all the food here. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, mom. Like they
'Cause
do.
people are, what, afraid to go there or something to shop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
So actually I have to go again because I bought this hot pot mixture, but I didn't buy the meat. So I'm like, I gotta go.
You gotta get
Ah,
them meat.
yeah. So it was fully stocked.
Yeah.
Parking lot was empty. The hours were adjusted from like 8 to 9. No, there was no wipes or anything.
Mm.
But other stores like Costco or Sam's and stuff, yeah, they do have that. And now like HEB has implemented, I think, like stickers on the floor where it's shows people where to stand.
Like 6
Like,
feet
okay,
apart or whatever, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's like they taking that very seriously, like self what is it, distancing,
Social distancing or physical
social
distancing.
distancing, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
social distancing. That's what they keep hearing, like our mayor keeps saying that, like social
Mm,
distancing, take that seriously, like we're not shutting down the city now, but
you
be,
might if you don't.
yeah, pretty much. Anyways, but it's just a madhouse, and I don't
Yeah,
know how much of it is actually the virus causing it or just like the fear of
yeah,
it
yeah.
causing it.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
just
It's true. So, what do you think? I know you say you were trying to tune out a little bit now, but do you think um, that the knowledge part is less important than the kind of the ignorance part, or ignorance is bliss part? Like, where are you on that spectrum now? Because I think a lot of people are just starting to tune out because this is all they see and hear every day now for the last however long. So, where are you on that spectrum? Would you say?
ignorance is bliss. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
no. Uh, well, it's here already, and
yeah.
there's really, like, I can't go out and help, or I can't go out and
Mm-hmm.
combat this. Like the best thing I can do is stay home,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Like it, and try not to watch the news because it's just hurting me mentally more than
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So it is kind of like that. Like, should I tune into the news and know what's going on and how many cases now
Yeah,
are we up by, or should I just like mind my own business and
right.
try to do something else, like
Yeah.
focus on something, like declutter, I don't know,
Yeah, for
something
sure.
different, clean my car, which I finally got to do, and it had been months. So thank you, coronavirus. My car finally got clean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think people start becoming more introspective and kind of, focusing on things that, perhaps things that they've kind of let, they've forgotten about just because they've been so busy with life. But now you can kind of focus on things for yourself, right? And
Yeah, what have you done?
what have I done? That's a good point. What have I done? I mean, I come in here. I'm the only one that comes into the gym now because, as you can see, lights are off. It's closed. I kind of
Yeah,
hold myself up in here and talk to you. And I chatted with someone yesterday from the UK, which is pretty
uh-huh.
cool. So I think you saw that. But then
I did.
this is kind of the things that I'm doing right now, just to kind of keep myself occupied. Obviously, my wife and baby Kuz is at home, so they're kind of keeping. We're kind of keeping busy, but we can only find so many Netflix shows, or
Yes,
keep ourselves
yes,
occupied.
yeah. So what Netflix do you recommend? Like
Oh my
I don't know what to watch anymore.
Well, I mean, actually, no. This is a new show that was on Prime. You have Amazon Prime?
Hmm.
Okay, so it's called Hunters.
Hunters.
It's
Okay.
about you said get that down, get that down.
Yeah, I am.
It's Al Pacino, and they're doing
Hunters.
they're hunting, I guess what you would say neo Nazis
Oh, okay.
that exist in the U.S.,
Hmm.
which was really interesting. And I didn't know this until my wife told me, but it's based on like true events. Like these people actually were brought over by the American government post World War II, and they resided, and they used them as resources for their intelligence. So I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So anyway, if you're into that kind of
Oh,
stuff, it's kind of historical based.
oh,
Also,
definitely. Hmm.
there was this reality show. I'm sure it's all over the place. Love is Blind.
Oh God. Yes, I started
Did you finish
watching
it?
it. No,
Yeah.
I didn't finish it
Oh
because
my
I'm like,
god.
I like it because it's not your bachelor, like it's
Yeah.
not the young kids. It's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
like us our age and
Yes.
real people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also like, I'm like, oh, like this is not true. Like whatever. Like
Yeah. It's mind numbing, and it served its
yes,
purpose. It
yeah,
served its purpose.
yes, yeah.
And there's another one now too, and I can't remember what it's called. Like they put them all up in this apartment building. They all have separate rooms, and they can only interact through social media, and they kind of like each other's stuff and
The
whatever.
circle.
Is that what it is? Yeah, that thing.
Yes,
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't want to get started on it though. I'm nervous.
I think I like that better than Love Is Blind, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Mainly because I like the guy from Dallas. He is hilarious. Like
Oh, really?
I want him to be my friend. Like he's
You better reach out
super.
to him now and be like,
Yeah,
we gotta be friends now.
I
Oh
know.
my god. I don't want to get hooked onto another show though, like right now. Right? Because these
That's true.
things get so like addictive, and you kind of just want to power through it. That's what we did with Love is Blind. We finished, what is it, 2 seasons or two, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, however long, a whole season anyway, in I don't know, a span of a week. That's a lot of
Yeah.
TV watch.
It's just, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like just binge the show and you
I
wake
know.
up and you're like,
I know.
you feel like you're part of the show now. It's like,
That's true.
okay.
It's true. You know what?
I
What's
just
a
need
good
to
thing
stop.
for me too, though, is that the work that I'm doing now I can do remotely.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with Orange Theory?
Yeah. Wait, you
Okay.
can do that remotely?
Kind of, yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of unique, and I'm kind of in a unique situation. There's a new studio that's opening in an area in Vancouver called River
Uh-huh.
District, and we're in this pre-sale phase. So the studio isn't even open, but it's a lot of reaching out to people. People have questions. I can help field their questions and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. So of course, I can do that by answering a phone. We had a booth that was set up right outside of a grocery store where we could actually interact with people and explain things. But we're kind of in a unique situation now where the studio's not even open, but we can kind of help everybody with everything. And Orange Theory is they're posting daily like at home workouts, so people can just do workouts at home, which is kind of cool. I mean, anyone can
Yeah.
really do it because it's publicly available. But so at least I can kind of work from home. Well, I am working from home, working from here, which keeps me busy,
Do you work
right?
out though?
Ooh, called out. No, not lately. No, not lately. Unfortunately, no. I
You
mean,
know,
we've got facilities right here that I've neglected to use in the last little while. So
yeah,
what?
I think no, because I see these people doing like 10 for 10 or whatever. I'm like, perhaps to you, but right now I just don't feel like doing them. Like,
I got
I,
tagged a bunch of times for that too.
yeah, it's just I just feel like it's a community thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
it
I need
really
to
is.
be next to someone or
Yeah,
seeing someone do it for me to just feel motivated. Because
yeah,
doing it at home, it just feels like a chore, you know?
yeah. It's true.
Um,
It's true.
so I have gained weight because of it. So thank you,
Mhm.
coronavirus.
You gotta slow
I'm
down
just
on those
eating out of
dumplings.
boredom now. Yeah, I'm just eating out of boredom now instead
Right.
of like, am I really actually hungry or do I just want to?
You know what's interesting that I thought that was running out too or that I realized was running out too is ramen. I don't know if
Oh
you're a ramen
yes,
person, but like I
of
had to
course.
go to a Korean grocery store to get ramen because people were scooping that up like no problem. I mean, it's nice to have around, so we got some, but like I
Uh,
can't believe that. I guess it's because it's non-perishable. Everyone can just have it, right? In case something happens. So I get the obsession with the ramen, but I was like, I need some ramen too in my life.
but then, do you really need it, or you just think you need it?
Oh, just yeah. Well, I get yeah. That's the
Yeah,
notion, right? But then for me, it's like
yeah.
we just have it around the house, and so therefore I need it because we're out. You know what I mean?
And then you eat it. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, had I not bought it, I didn't really need it.
It's
So
so
yeah,
true. It's
yeah.
so
So
true.
we bought ramen and we're out of it. But I'm like, we just ate it because we were bored, not
Yeah.
because we actually needed it. So when the time comes and we actually need it, we're gonna be out of it.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So,
So
anyways,
what other things are you doing to keep busy? I know. So you're trying to run, you're trying to stay mentally, sane.
I'm reading
Um,
more.
that's cool.
I
That's
just
cool.
finished a book called The Making of a Manager or something like
Okay.
that. It's
Business
like
books.
this. Yeah, I just need to, of course, era too. My
Mm.
goal is to take advantage of this time and like teach myself how to code. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know how hard it is. I don't know how the learning
That's
curve
cool.
is, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna even get over that curve.
Yeah.
But course era, like I've done like just stuff that I find like, oh, SEO
That's
information. Like,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, how do you do this? Like I sign up for this on Coursera. You just audit it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me do this. And
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
like an hour a week. So, but it's just finding motivation. That's the
That's so
key. Like,
true.
like it just being disciplined. It's hard
Mhm.
because you could be watching a show or you could be scrolling mindlessly through like all the social medias and
Yeah.
Twitter or whatever. And it's like, I really just need to open this and just actually do it. Just
Yeah.
start. Starting is the hard part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking for the next book to read and then try to finish. Like my goal is to finish one course per week and see how
Yeah.
far I go.
Okay.
Um, but this, I'm not talking about coding. I'm talking about SEO search
Oh,
engine
okay. Yeah, yeah.
right
Learn.
now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So
I,
is Coursera, is that what you said?
yeah,
So is
Coursera.
that like Udemy? Like it's an online kind of thing platform where you just do sign up for courses, you pay for it, and you go learn some stuff. Is that
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's course era. I think it was started by like MIT or Harvard or
Oh, that's
something.
cool.
And there's a bunch of courses, and sometimes if you pay for it, you get a certification. But
Right.
you can take it, you can just audit them and just learn about the material.
I see.
You won't get access to the quizzes or grade or anything, or you can't put it like on
That's
your
knowledge
LinkedIn.
you can pull from it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I recently learned about Google has this website. I don't know where it is, but it's like you get a certification for like digital marketing or
Mm.
something. So I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, like what else am I gonna do? Let me learn like some. So, but
Yeah.
it has like Google Ads and like how to run your first campaign. Like it's
Oh, I
just
see.
it's a bunch of interesting stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I wish I would have known this like a year ago.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It's all this
but
relevant information that now you're able to absorb and take in that you probably never thought that you would need. It's interesting because when you're kind of forced into this, protective bubble, which is your house, and you have to find a way to be productive, right? Mentally productive and just, chore productive around your house. It's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And you start getting creative, right? Everyone's had to pivot in terms of what they're doing for themselves, for others, and things like that. So I think in terms of silver lining with this whole situation, I think that's one thing
mm,
is that we're all forced to be creative with our time. I know
yeah,
it's easy to be very mindless with Netflix or, check your screen time on your phone. It's probably gone up exponentially too, right?
yes.
I actually didn't know that I had a feature on my phone. And I was like, and then my wife turned it on. I was like, okay, you see what your screen time is today. I'm like, okay, I'll see. So I'll probably be up there too. But point is, we got to find ways to be creative and still productive because when all of this stuff ends, are we all going to be overweight, unmotivated, like, stagnant people now? How do we find our
Yeah,
motivation? And so I think what's important, I think you bring up a good point, is to maybe to get that motivation. I think like you were training for marathons, right? You have to
yeah.
train. That's all a process. So maybe set yourself, a goal that's, maybe 2-3 months out, whatever it is. I'm going to learn about SEO in 3 months out. I'm going to be certified or whatever, knowledge based. And,
Mhm.
you go and you apply that knowledge. So I think that's the end of the day. You just have to you set a time, set a goal and
Yeah,
reach
like
for it.
yeah, I did last week I was phoneless. Like my iPhone completely just
Oh my gosh.
it stopped working. Like the what is it? The charging port,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't charge.
Oh my gosh.
So I took it prior to like Apple and they're like, you need a new phone. There's nothing more that I
Of
hate
course.
when corporate companies like take advantage of the people. I'm like, F you. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna buy another $1,000 phone. Like no. So
Fix the damn thing.
yeah, so just being phoneless for a week was just
Mhm.
actually just I was more proactive. I'm like, okay, I gotta clean my car. I gotta clean my stuff. Like declutter this.
Yeah.
Okay, I got things to do that I've just been putting off because I was on my phone. But it helped. So I like being phoneless
Yeah.
because you get to do more things that
Yeah.
you typically wouldn't. But then you also find out that you actually need your phone or like your Google Maps to get somewhere, right?
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but anyways, yeah. So now I bought like what I did was like, oh, let me go to eBay and try to figure it out. So I
Yeah.
went like on YouTube, try to how do you
Yeah.
change the charging port,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
I have all the free time in the world.
Right.
Like my phone's already broken. Let me try and fix it and see if I can. So
So
I'll
did you buy a
report
bunch of
that.
parts? Did you buy a bunch of
Yeah.
parts and stuff? That's wild.
Yeah. It was like $5 or something,
Oh
six
my
bucks.
gosh. And that's probably all it is. It's probably something so simple, right?
Yes, because apparently Apple, what they did, it's like first they put like the charging port
Mm,
and then they add like all the battery and the memory and all that stuff on top of it. So
mm,
it makes it harder for them to switch just that. And it's like a long thing that just goes across your phone. At least from what I learned from YouTube. We'll
yeah.
find out when the
Yeah, we'll
parts
find.
arrive. Yeah. Yeah. So it was like $6 on eBay. No shipping fees or anything. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, let me try to figure it out. And it comes with all the little tools that you need. So I'm like, perfect. Let me see. Like, what else am
yeah.
I gonna do? So it's just finding little things, finding creative ways to
Right.
just pass
Stay
the time
occupied.
until it's gone. But
How's
I'm like,
your family and stuff? How are they dealing with it? How's your mom and everything?
so my sister is in Vegas
Mm,
with my dad. So they're working in Vegas and they work in construction. So they're still working, which I'm glad.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still working, and my sister was actually going to come to Houston for my mom's spring break because my mom works at like a little school.
Okay.
Uh, but my mom, before spring break that Friday, they closed down all the schools.
Mm.
So they gave kids 2 weeks of spring break, and then they're gonna move to. They're talking about, I think, April 10th.
Okay, they're
It's
pushing it
when
out a
they'll
bit.
just, yeah. So they'll decide whether they're gonna just cancel the school all the way
Gosh.
through. Yeah, and they cancel the testing.
Mm.
So we have standardized testing in Texas, and kids aren't taking that, which I'm like, man, this should be able to.
Yeah,
That's unfair. I
yeah,
had to take it. No, but they're
that's
lucky.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, they cancel the test. So they'll find out, I guess, in the next couple of weeks or
Mm.
so if they're going to cancel school or if they're going to move online. So anyways, my sister canceled her flight because she's more scared of things. She gets
Oh,
easily
really?
scared. Yeah, I don't really care. But she's more scared of her, and my mom's diabetic.
Okay.
So that's one thing that concerns me, that I try not to express,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I think if I show it, she will worry more.
I see.
So I tried not to show it. But she is diabetic. I know insulin is through the roof. And then they told her about this, like she won't be able to come back to work till the 10th. And it's a nonprofit. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, is she not going to get paid? Like, this is
Mhm.
things that I'm thinking through, like her insurance, like who's going to cover the insulin? How if it runs out of it? Like, things just go through my mind like so quickly. So, like what's going to happen, like how about she gets it, because they say people who have like underlying health conditions, they're more prone to catching it. I'm like,
Right.
I try not to show it, but low key I freak out. I worry more for my mom because I
Mm.
know she's like diabetic, and she walks she walks my dog.
Yeah.
And she has like a goal every day. Her goal is 20,000 steps,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Yeah,
And
and
does she crush it? Does she crush it every time?
yes. Oh
I'm
my
glad.
God, yes. And if she just started like in September,
That's cool.
because I bought her a pair of Brooks, right? Because I run, and my goal was to get all my siblings and my parents to run like a race.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so cool.
So I'm like, Mom, for me, it was like more of a punishment. I'm like, you're gonna run a 5K, right? That's me showing love to
Yeah.
my
Right.
mom.
Right.
So I bought her a pair of like Brooks, like my favorite Brooks running shoes. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, here you go, Mom. You're gonna run a 5K. She's so scared. She's like, no, no. I'm like, you are. So someone at work taught her how to check her steps on her iPhone,
Okay.
and she checks it. And she loves to look at her, like the
Obsessed now,
bars
hey?
that I show. Yes, just she doesn't understand it, but she likes to look at the bars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like how they fluctuate, and
Right.
there's like this little like line graph,
Mm.
and she's like, oh my God, she calls it like la trepita, which in English is like
Stairs or ladder?
no, yeah, like your intestine.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
Okay. Got it.
like,
Got it.
if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
literally translate it, it's like
yeah.
your intestine, right?
Okay.
Like
I
la
get it. That's
trepita.
kind of visually, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Funny.
every time she doesn't see it, she's like, oh my God, it went away. I'm like, no, Mom, click
It's
here.
right here.
Yeah. So she just walks
Oh,
every
man.
day. Like, and my poor dog, I'm like, I'm so sorry, honey. Like, your
Yeah.
grandma is it's just dog abuse at this point, right? Because she needs someone to accompany her.
Right.
Because it's dark in the morning. So she
Oh, I
goes,
see.
yeah. And if she doesn't complete them, she's not okay. Like, she
Mm,
makes an effort. Like, I'm just going to walk here down the block and just
that's
keep
so
walking.
cool. Talk
Yeah,
about motivated,
pacing.
hey?
Yeah.
Just to get those steps, right? Honestly,
Yeah.
20,000 steps in a day is a lot. I mean, you have to move around quite a bit. On average, people get maybe 10, right? I think it defaults to 10, right? If that,
Yeah. I
right? If
don't
you're doing
even, I don't like to tell her this, but I don't even do 20,000
that.
steps. And I try to run like
Right.
at least 3 miles, and it doesn't happen. So she's like, it's not easy. I'm like,
No.
yes, Mom, it's easy, right? But no, it's not. Try it. Like, I challenge you guys to do it, because it's definitely not. But I'm glad that she does that. At least she has that. Like, she knows she has to walk.
Yeah,
So she
that's
has
cool.
that going on. So because I can see that her not knowing whether she's gonna have a job or she's gonna
Mm,
get paid, like if school gets canceled, like I can see that affecting her. She
right.
seems a little more down. But like my brother isn't graduating this year, which I'm kind of happy because you know you don't know how the job market is going to be
Oh,
after
for
this.
sure.
Like I'm like, you're lucky, just stay in school, like
Hmm.
you're good. But like as far as internships, like what's going to happen, like. And then my brother, he's going through this interview process, right? And it's like it's a long process, and because of this coronavirus, it's like it's putting a hold on that too. So it's
Yeah.
just um we're doing fine, but it's just some things that are like fuck, like
Right. For
really,
sure.
like
For sure.
you wouldn't have thought about it, like oh my god, well now we gotta think about this. And
Yeah. Well, when people say, you save for a rainy day, and you never really think that the rainy day is going to come. And then this is the rainy day. And perhaps for you guys, in terms of context, a rainy day would be quite literally rain, a hurricane, right? And you say, what's the longest it lasts? A week? And you have
yeah,
to deal with it. You close up
i
shop.
mean
It's a week, right?
we had Harvey on in
Yeah.
2017, and like we had several hurricanes pass through Houston, but nothing like Harvey.
Hmm.
And even Harvey, like I think it prepared me for this cabin fever because we literally couldn't go out for a week,
Yeah.
and people to this day still haven't been able to fix their homes, right?
Yeah. Oh, since then.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah, like you still have people because it. And then prior to the coronavirus getting to Houston, we had like a pipe broke, but it was a massive pipe
Okay.
and we couldn't drink water.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah. So people, this was like a week before, or a week or two before the coronavirus just got to Houston.
Hmm.
People were already buying like cases
Bottled
of
water
water
and everything. Yeah.
because you couldn't drink from like the faucet, or you had to boil the water. So people were going to the stores, right? Didn't know that we were gonna get hit by the coronavirus 2 weeks after.
Right.
But yeah, even just little things. I'm like, oh man, I appreciate that I can go run and drink from the faucet, right?
Yeah. I
Which I
know.
couldn't do in 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago. It's just,
Yeah.
and then Harvey, well, it's just like I'm glad it's not, at least it's not flooded,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
people aren't losing their homes yet,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Uh,
They'll lose
it,
it for different reasons, obviously, right? Potentially
yeah,
financial
no,
reasons and
yeah, like a month ago, there was a massive explosion in the
mm.
city, and people like 5 miles out lost their home due
What?
to this explosion. Yeah,
Was it like a
yeah,
gas explosion or something?
it was some. No, it was like a maybe it was.
Okay.
It was at a refinery or whatever,
Oh, I
and it
see.
was
Okay,
like
right.
in inner city Houston. Actually, it wasn't like outside. It was in the inner
Right.
city, and they lost their homes. And I'm like, well, damn, like it's not even a hurricane season. It was this
Yeah.
company who wasn't responsible.
I
Um,
see.
so Houston has had its share of incidents, and we've been able to come out of it fine. And it shows how helpful like Houston community is. Like
Mm.
I tend to bash it sometimes. Like, oh my god, like I hate Houston, right?
Uh,
It's dirty, people are rude. But I'm like, no, we're actually nice. We
yeah.
are dirty. That's one thing from coronavirus. Like it's very clean now, right?
Right, because no one's
Everything's
out.
clean.
No one's out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's super clean. Like people were passing out kids. So sometimes kids rely on like school lunches to have food, right? So
Mm.
now some schools were passing out lunch, like they were having drive ups, like people could drive up, like
Mm.
kids that went to school, like drive up and pick up a meal, whatever. So that you can definitely see like that Southern hospitality is
That's
definitely true.
cool.
Like we are very nice and welcoming, and we do care for each other, even though sometimes we don't
Yeah.
show it, but we truly, when it comes down to it, when like
Right.
times get tough, like we do pull through for each other, like we
Right.
do help each other. And I do like that about like Houston specifically,
Mm.
and that we do help each other. It happened, you saw it in Harvey, like gosh, Harvey was awful, but you can see that like we are a community. Yeah, we're massive, we're like what, the fourth largest city, but
Yeah.
we care for each other, and that's something that I think I'm very proud of to say that Houston just pulled through.
That's
So
interesting. And I love that you shared that, because I think that's what we all need at this time. And all of these major events, whether it's a hurricane or an earthquake or something like this, everyone kind of comes together. Everyone becomes more reflective, and really takes take inventory of what it is that they have and who they have in their lives, and the things that they should be grateful for. And I mean, again, certainly, I'm a big part of that, in terms of the things that it's affected for me, and I've been very reflective, and I always use my experience volunteering with you as a real reframe of my mental state, or what I appreciate in life. But things like this, I think, help bring that out of people. I think, generally speaking, anyway, and I think that's one thing that we could probably take out of it once all of this subsides, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something. So you mentioned, like, just in the Philippines, like, just living abroad and like being having that opportunity to travel in like Asia, it just definitely did, like, to me, like you said, it gave me a different perspective. Like, it made me a more grateful person, because I
Hmm.
know it could be worse. And I think that's why I'm the way that I am now,
Mm.
because of that experience. I'm like, okay, I appreciate my hot showers, because back then we were only allowed to take bucket showers,
Right.
like,
Oh my
right,
God.
and it wasn't even warm. It was like, oh,
Freezing
just
ass cold water. Yeah.
sleeping in bunk beds,
Massive
like, with
tents. Yeah.
nothing.
I
Yeah, like,
know.
we're I'm fine, like,
Yeah, we're
I'm
good,
okay.
right? In
Yeah, we're
relative
good.
terms.
Yeah, yeah, we might be confined to our homes, but at
We
the
have a
end of the
home.
day,
How about that?
yes,
You know what I mean?
we have running water. Like, the
Yeah.
water still works. We have electricity.
Yeah.
We can binge watch Netflix. Like,
Whatever it is. Yeah.
we're okay.
Yeah.
So I think people just need to stop freaking out. I think
Mm.
that's what really is causing all this. Like, just stop freaking out,
Mm.
because honestly, we're okay.
Yeah.
Like,
You
we
gotta
have
write it
all
up.
the essentials. We have everything. Like, the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it. Like, let's not freak out now, because it could be worse,
Hmm.
a lot worse.
Yeah. No, it's so
Um,
true. It's so true. When all of this subsides, when all of this, whether it's a month or 2 or 3, um, where do you see yourself? I mean, like, what do you think you're gonna do? I know you were saying you had just left the rodeo and stuff. What do you want to do next? What's kind of the most exciting thing that you feel like you want to do once you're able to be out and about and doing you again?
doing me again? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because leave Houston
Really? Really?
after I just said
I'm
how
gonna go
much.
travel. Yeah, yeah.
No,
I love
no,
Houston, but peace.
just yeah, no change. I've been wanting change, and I
Yeah.
think uh, just finding that, like, I need change, and
Hmm.
I need that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna hold because of this, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
People aren't hiring or whatever, so uh, I don't know. How about you? Like, what do you plan to do?
Honestly, and that's why I like asking that question. Just in general, whether it was during this coronavirus situation or not, is like,
Yeah.
what is it that you look forward to? Like, honestly, for me, before all of this, I think it was just seeing where I mean, I've got this young family now, and
Yes.
making positive changes in terms of our housing situation right now, and I think whether we expand as a family and stuff, just kind of settling that part down. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we have this gym here. It's been around for a couple of years now, and kind of just seeing where this ends up, because it's kind of a stabilized business now. Not in this situation because we're closed, but it's kind of
Mhm.
stabilized because after a couple of years, you kind of see, is it going to work? Is it not? You kind of have a good idea. So, um, and I think doubling down on the things that I enjoy doing, a lot of the experiences and the things that I got out of my traveling with you in the Philippines was a lot of introspection and reflection on the things that are important to me. And so now I'm able to sit back and say, I don't want to do that anymore. Like when I came back after we were volunteering together, I was back in banking, and that's what I had left. I left the banking industry, came back to it because I was like, I really don't know what I want to do, so I'm just going to go back to doing what I know, right?
Mhm.
Out of just a lack of options. But now I can just sit back and say, I'm going to double down on the things that I enjoy doing because I already took that risk before. Like, it was a big change for me, from being a banker, getting a paycheck, every 2 weeks, to now just training people, completely new industry and having no clue what to do. And now I'm at a point where I can just be like, okay, well, I know I enjoy doing these things. I know I love doing these. I'm good at these things. I can focus on that now. And I think that's kind of what I'm
Mhm.
excited for, is just doubling down on what it is that I enjoy doing, and just continue to find, and refine what those things are. And I think you're starting to do that now too, because you're finding all these, little courses and things. You're kind of like expanding your mind,
Yeah, you're definitely ahead of me, like
Yeah.
in that respect, because I'm still trying to figure out, like, what is it do I really like? Like, do
Mhm.
I really like this? Like, what do I want to pursue? Like, what career do I want to pursue? Do I really want to go back to school? Do I really need to go back to school?
Yeah.
Like, do I really have the money to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it's just, yeah, it's a lot of like reflecting, okay, what is it that I really like? And that is partly why I'm doing, like, navigating through this courses, is to see if I like it, because
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
spend dish out like 100K on like grad school,
Yeah.
I need to know that I'm gonna like it.
Mhm.
Because the last thing I want is just, like, one thing that China taught me, it's to just never be so unhappy, like let myself be
Yeah.
so unhappy, right?
Mhm.
Because literally life is short.
Yeah. Oh, for
Like,
sure.
I
Oh
might
my
catch the
gosh.
coronavirus tomorrow and die. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it, and I think because I think I've lived a good life. I've had adventures. Maybe I'm not where I would like to be, but
Mhm.
I'm sure there's people out there who are in the same boat as me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are not what they thought they would be, or
Mhm.
what they want to be doing. But life is a journey, and I
Oh
think
my gosh. Yeah.
you just have to enjoy the journey. And I have to remind myself that constantly. Okay, shit sucks right now. Yes,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's gonna suck before it gets
Mhm.
better. But, like,
Mhm.
calm down, Maria. Like, stop being
Mhm.
so dramatic, right?
Right.
Um, so it's just that, like, okay, what do I like? And
Mhm.
I admire that. Like, I have a few friends who are in your position, have made, like, that transition, and are doing what they want and what they
Mhm.
like, and that's what I think I'm looking forward to after this is over. It's like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
being ready and prepared. Like, prepare yourself for that, right?
Right.
Like, there's a meme on that, or something like that. I've seen on Instagram. He's like, you just got to make the leap when it comes. You just got to be prepared for
Oh
it.
my gosh. I think honestly, the hardest part is the leap. You could convince yourself all the way up to the point where you're at the very edge and you're like, I got to pull the trigger. I got to make that decision. Am I going to jump or am I not? And I mean, I could speak generally, but I mean, definitely speaking for myself, to just make that leap is the hardest part, because you really don't know. You really just don't know. But when you do, you got to go all in. Right? I mean, that's how I had to choose it. I had to just go all in, because if you don't, you're probably just setting yourself up to not succeed in whatever it is that you choose. And so that's what I found, was that when I just doubled down on myself, like, people say the best investment you could ever make is on yourself. I'm like, shit, no duh. Like, it sounds like a no-brainer, but it's like, why didn't I think of that first? It's too busy thinking about, okay, well, that's what I was told that I would be good at, or that's what so and so said I'd be good at. But you know what? Why don't I just figure out what the hell else I love doing, and then just double down on that? And it seems like, again, such a no-brainer, but sometimes it just takes a few years or a few steps to get there, right? And I don't see why you wouldn't either, because you have, the world ahead of you, and so many opportunities, like you said, right? We're in a great place to explore opportunities, and you got the education too. That's the other thing, right? And the life experience. Okay, here's one thing I'll tell you: before, you've traveled, you've been to China, you taught. How long were you there for?
I was there for a year.
A year. Like, I can't say
Yeah.
that I was anywhere for a year. You know what I mean? Like, those life experiences that you kind of had in your life, like, in a way, I envy that, because I feel like there's so much growth that happens in those opportunities that I didn't have. Obviously, life takes you on a different path, but that's one thing I think that I wish that I could have done when I was younger.
I wish I would have done more after I came back. I feel like when I came back, because when I left, I had just graduated from college, so I
Yeah.
took off, right? And then I came back like a year and a half later, and it's like the rat race pulled me in. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, I got to find a job, right? And it's
yeah.
just like, and then you just stick to this. I'm like, okay, society tells me that I have to have a good job, and like,
Yeah.
I have to, like, own my own home. I have to be married. I have to. So
Yeah.
that
What's
really
wrong,
just,
right?
yeah, that really just brought me down and just depressed me. Like, after I
Mm,
came back, I was literally having like a depression episode,
mm,
because it's like, what do I do with my life? And I got the first job that I could, right?
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I liked it, but it wasn't for me. And that's one thing that I need to be more less hard on myself, right?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I'm like, okay, to all your young audience, like, if you don't like your job, start changing something different, like
Mhm.
now, like, right? Don't wait till you're ready to just blow up, right?
Yeah,
Because that
exactly.
was my situation. I think I waited too long.
Mm.
And I like the people that I work with. I like my job and I like what I did, but I wasn't in love with it.
Mm.
It was just, I was comfortable, right? And they say, like, for you to grow, you have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I wasn't for
Mm.
many years. I mean, and now that I look back in retrospect, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, what were you doing, Maria? You could
Yeah.
have been like working on something, like work, like self growth, right? Like,
Yeah.
learn things, learn new technical, like, just invest in yourself now. Like, there's
Mhm.
free resources out there. Do it now. If you hate your job, fine,
Yeah.
pick up something
Yeah,
before
totally.
you quit, right? Before
Yeah.
you get to that point where you just want to slap your boss around, right? Like, shut
Yeah.
up, or
Oh my
everything
gosh.
they say just
Yeah.
drives you insane.
Yeah.
Just do something before. Like, know that you're probably not gonna know, but just trying things out, it's gonna get you there eventually, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I feel like I regret. It's like not investing in myself,
Mm. Mhm.
like, spending the time to find new things that I like, or just like avoiding it because I feel comfortable. I'm like, no, that's not good feeling. And people, there's different types of people out there. If you're complacent and you're okay, that's fine. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, right? But for me, it's not who I was. I
Mhm.
felt I felt like I was suffocating in my last job because it was suppressing who I was.
Mm.
Like,
So true.
I'm a person with ambitions,
Mhm.
and whether I like it or I don't like it, like, I don't like that I'm ambitious. Like, I wish I could
Really?
be, no, yeah, I wish I could be like okay with like some random job and like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm not.
Mm.
I think that's why, like, I left being so miserable and just tired, because
Yeah.
you have to know yourself, right? You have to know who you are. It's not necessarily that the job I had was awful.
Mhm.
It wasn't for me anymore.
Right. Right.
And that's what people, I feel like people need to know. They need to know who they are first,
That's so
right?
true. Oh my gosh,
Like,
yeah.
I know I'm ambitious. Like, it's just in my nature. I don't know if because I'm a Capricorn. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if because I was raised poor. I don't know,
Mhm.
right? Like, it's just who I am. And
Yeah.
instead of trying to fight it and trying to submit myself with like this life with like a good job, uh okay, like, I love my colleagues, it
Yeah.
wasn't me.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. And I didn't do anything about it until it was too late. So
Right.
definitely recommend people to just reflect,
Yeah.
truly know who you are. Like,
Yeah.
if you're okay with your job, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and be like a business owner or anything. Like,
Yeah.
there's different types of people out there. There's people who just like to stay at home,
Yeah. No,
right?
it's true. Yeah, absolutely. And that's their ambition. And there's a role for
Yeah.
everybody in the world, I think, right?
Yeah, but like, think about it, like, 5 years from now. Are you
Mhm.
gonna be okay with being on the couch watching Netflix? If you're okay with that, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
that's you. That's who you are as a
Mm.
person. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, no. Like, I
Do you think that your ambition is, like you said, you hate that you're ambitious?
yeah.
Do you think there's ever going to be a point where you're going to be like, I found the thing that I love doing, and then like 5 years later, it's like, ah, man, I need to keep moving. I got to change it up. Do you feel like it's kind of your fallacy that even though you probably found something that you love, you're looking for something better? Like almost like there's this FOMO, if that makes sense. Do you feel like you're kind of like that? Yeah.
I don't know if I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I might be like
I
that, but
see.
I
I see.
I can't confirm if I am or not. Like, because when I went to visit you, there's something that stuck to me. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it or if I'm going to
Say
get
it.
in trouble.
No.
But you said that your mom was too independent.
Mm. I love that you
And
remembered that. I love that you remember that.
Because I think it's because your mom, your mom raised you. She was a single parent,
Yeah,
whatever. And then,
yeah.
at the beginning, and like my mom, like in a sense, was a single parent because
Mhm.
growing up, my dad went to different states to work, right? Um, so she would take me to clean houses every weekend as a kid. I'm like, I dreaded it. I hated it. Like I hated her for it. I'm like, I don't want to fucking clean
This is
houses. Like
not my life. Yeah.
yeah, like I want to go watch a movie like the rest of the kids,
Yeah, 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 totally.
And she would always tell me, like, so I'm Mexican, and we have that machista going on, right? Like
Mm,
women stick to the house labor
I
and men
see.
go and whatever.
Okay.
So my mom would always tell me, she would take me to clean houses. She's like, you need to go to school and work hard so you don't end up like me cleaning houses or whatever.
Mhm.
So that stuck with me.
Mm,
So I kind of blame her for my ambition, because and for being so hard on myself,
mm,
right? Because it's like when you grow up, like I don't know if this is the case, maybe, but like for first generation, it's like your parents, not all parents, right? Not
mm.
all parents support their kids to go to school or whatever, but like those that do typically do it because they're like, yay, you're gonna go and become a lawyer, blah blah blah. You're gonna take care of me. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure on a
It
kid,
is.
right?
It is.
So I think that's why I've become, like, my circumstances made me so ambitious, but
Mm.
because I didn't have like the latest clothes growing up. I didn't have the latest, like I wasn't the cool kid, right?
Yeah,
I
right,
was
right.
wearing hand-me-downs or like stuff that we would pick at church that they would give away, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, no, I fucking refuse to be poor. Like I would rather die trying
Right,
than die not trying. Like
right.
no. And that's so wrong. Again, this is me. Not right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is just me. Like people if you like to watch Netflix and that's your downtime, more props to you. That's who
Right,
you are.
right.
Me, that's not who I am. And I
Mhm.
blame my mom for it.
You know what though? Honestly, it sounds like a bad thing right now. Right? It sounds like a bad thing. It's like, oh man, I'm not satisfied. I'm always looking for the next best thing. I really want to find this. But guess what? You are looking for it. You're gonna find it. That's inevitable. And then when you do it, you're gonna do whatever it is with such conviction because of all the shit and the hard work that you put in to get to where you are. You know what I
But
mean?
then
So
yeah, but then so when you mentioned like your mom is too independent, you
yeah.
said that, and that stuck with me because then I'm like, fuck, how about if I'm too independent,
Mm,
like I don't, and I am, like I think I am, which is why I'm still single. Like it's like
mm.
no, like I want to be independent. Like I don't want to depend on a man. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I want to have my own income, my own thing. Like I want to be a partner. And
Mhm.
hey, if you stay at home and take care of your kid, fine. Like there's nothing wrong with
Right.
that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
It's just who I am as a person.
Mhm.
So when I saw your mom, I thought she was impressive. Like I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my god, this woman is like, yes, like. But then you said, I'm like, she's too independent. I'm like,
Yeah.
is that a bad thing or a good thing?
And
I
for
thought your mom was great. Like
yeah.
yeah, like
She's a great role model in that sense. I
she
really
is.
do, and I think, like you said, you met her, and we stayed together for a few days, and you got to learn a little bit more about her. And the independence thing, it really is kind of a double-edged sword. It really is. And I think especially for my mom, because and she knows it now. She's in her 60s, and she's crushing it with her business. She can
Mhm.
literally just pick up something new and just go and crush it. Like that's just her MO. Like when she
Mhm.
immigrated here, she's like, I'm gonna start a business, and she fucking does it. I'm like, okay. And then I think that entrepreneurial spirit has always stuck with me. Hence me doing all of this stuff, which I love
Yeah.
and I loved. But her independence, and I think on the flip side of things, is that
Mhm.
she doesn't want to depend on anybody. And unfortunately, or like just biologically, whatever it is, men need to be dependent on, right? And
Mhm.
so maybe it pushed other people away. For then she's a single mom now, and she's been crushing being single for I don't know 20 years now. And she's perfectly content with it. So I guess with just like anything else, there's a fine balance, and you just got to find it, right? But
Mhm.
that independence for you, I don't think it's going to be a downside. You just got to let some dudes date you every once in a while, right? And then just be
Yeah,
good with it.
no.
Like, all right, buy me dinner once. It's cool. Just don't open my damn door anymore.
Now open my door. Let me pay for my
Oh,
dinner.
there you go. See, there you go. Done. Right. But you see what I mean, though, right? And I think I love my mom for it, but at the same time, I feel bad because I think everyone at the end of the day loves companionship, and I mean, she just
Have
loves.
you asked her?
What's that?
Have you asked her, like, do you miss, like, do you wish you had someone? Like, does she feel the same way you feel about her?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. She completely gets it. She's like, I think you're right. Especially my
Oh,
sister.
okay.
She like calls her out on all her shit now, like no problem, and she loves it. She loves it, right? And she loves being called out on. And it's funny to hear my mom swear with kind of a bit of that accent because I've never heard her swear growing up. And all of a sudden she like throw an F bomb in there or like shit. And I'm like, Mom, this does not suit your voice. um, but yeah, she understands it, and she's kind of
Mm.
at an age now where I feel like, and don't get me wrong, people in their 60s can still date and remarry and all that stuff. But I think she's kind of at a point where she's accepted. I'm kind of good with where I'm at. There's too much drama with all the other shit. I don't know if she doesn't think she needs it anymore. I guess she's kind of
Mm.
accepted that part of her life, and the more fulfilling things are her grandkids now. Like she loves seeing
Mm.
Cruz and my sister's kids and stuff like that, and so like that fills her life, and I think that's what she's just happy with that now. And so yeah, she knows it, but she's okay with that, I think. So.
Oh, well, you should have her on your podcast and be
Oh
like,
my gosh, I will actually.
independent woman, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I should actually. I think that'd be a really fun episode. Um,
Yeah.
just to hear her answer some questions. I don't know. I think it'll
Yeah.
be fun. That's a good call. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do exactly this because she lives down the street from me, but we'll do it on Zoom and
Social distancing.
exactly social distancing. We got to do it somehow. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm glad that you and I are able to catch up though because it's been a while. Obviously, we have each other on
I
social
know.
media and stuff, but I'm
It's
glad that
not the same.
you're okay. You're social distance. You're not carrying it yet. At least we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that you're doing good because we're friends, but from afar. And I really wish that I could have made the effort or the time or the whatever it was to go and visit you because I think um, I love having friends from different places and learning from them, and so that's why I love having you as a friend.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. And I think that's something that, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like the people that I've met while traveling,
Mm,
I definitely have a stronger connection than friends that I've known for years, right?
mm-hmm.
Like I still feel like I can talk to you like this.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't feel strange because we haven't talked to each other in like how long?
yeah, couple
It's
years maybe,
it's
like
been
actual
years.
conversation. Yeah,
Right. It's so, but it just doesn't feel fake. It feels
hmm
natural, right? So I just feel like the friendship it's stronger
yeah, yeah.
because like when we met, there was like no bullshit, right? We
Oh
were
my
just
god.
like, let's get down to the point. Are we gonna be friends or not? Like, are
Yeah,
we
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
connect or not? Like,
yeah.
right? So it's stuff like that. Like even if I, um, do you remember that guy from Israel? What's his name?
Oh my gosh. Val. Yes.
Val, what happened to
I
him?
don't know. I don't know what's going on with Val. Let's hit him up. We gotta find him.
But yeah, but see, like Val, like I met him in China actually. That's where I met
Oh, and
him.
then you guys met up in Philippines for all
He's
hands.
he's the one that invited me to the
Oh, I
Philippines. But
see.
yeah. So if I were to connect with him, like it would be like there was no time lapse. Like,
Right.
hey Val, like what's up? What have you
Yeah,
been
yeah,
up
yeah.
to? Like what's new, right?
So
So
true.
yeah, so I do appreciate you like in my friendship. Like
Hmm.
I do
Thank
I
you.
do feel like we do have that connection.
Yeah.
And I do want to meet Cruz and your wife and like see your gym. Like
Oh my god.
congrats. Like you're
Oh,
definitely killing
hey,
it.
you can just move up here now. You're saying you need to change. I mean, we could
Yeah,
figure something out.
it's expensive. I looked into it and I'm like,
Oh, no way. I know. I know. It's an
it's
expensive city to live. But I mean, given all of that, there's space. You just kind of move a little bit further from the city, and all of a sudden things becoming more affordable again. But anyway,
okay.
but just to your point, though, I think, and just to give context to people who will be listening, Val is somebody who I met during our volunteer kind of mission
Mm.
in the Philippines, and you had met prior to in China where you were working and teaching, right? You were teaching there, right? For a
Yeah,
year?
so I met him when so after my contract was up, I decided to backpack
Mm,
through through Southeast Asia. So I
mhm.
started in China, and my first city when I started my backpacking trip was in Xi'an.
Mm.
where the terracotta warriors are.
Okay.
And like we stayed at a hostel, and he was there, and he's just, Val, like
Yeah. It's
he
hard to express
talks.
to everybody. He's just a character. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just
Care for
so
me.
welcoming and friendly, and like that's how I met him, and like we just clicked. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, like we were at the border when Yolanda happened, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting to cross to uh Vietnam, and he was leaving to the Philippines already.
To join the
And
all hands mission.
yeah, yeah.
I see.
So we were in Dali, southern China. He's like, "Hey, you want to come and volunteer?" I'm like, "I just paid for my visa in Vietnam." I'm like, "Man, I just paid like $60 for my visa. Like, I gotta go now, and then I'll
Yeah,
meet
yeah,
you
yeah.
later,
Okay.
right?" So that's how we met, like
I
just
see.
traveling,
Right.
and then that's how I ended up meeting you and a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of great people. Like
So
I
true.
met, just it's interesting to see and to meet people when disasters like that happen.
Yeah.
Like I think you really, the good people come out of the
Mm-hmm.
good work, right? Like
Out of the
where
woodwork.
have
Yeah.
you been? Yeah, where have you been?
Oh man. Like I
Right?
get chills when you tell me this stuff, and only like there are certain things that people say that gives me this feeling. It's just because it's like I agree with it so much. I think when you do something like that, and I mean, I think, and I was telling someone else this, I got way more out of it, I think, selfishly, than I got giving back to the people that we helped. Would you
Yeah.
agree? Would you agree?
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in a selfish way, it's like I got so much out of it. But the people, like you were saying, that you meet, because in a situation like that, you strip all the bullshit away. Like I don't know
Mhm.
where you came
Yeah.
from. I don't know what car you drive. I don't know how much money you have. We're all sleeping in the same fucking bunk. You've got the same shit food that you got to eat. Well, it was actually really good food actually. But point is, we're living in the same situation. You don't know everyone's economic status.
Yeah.
It strips all that
You're
shit away.
sharing the same bucket
Right.
you use to
Shower.
shower. Yeah.
Yeah. We're shitting in the same places. Like everything was just all shared. You don't know anything except for
Yeah.
who that person really is. And you
Yeah.
really are just not forced, but you really just connect with people on a very real level. And that's how, like you saying, like we've talked, we haven't really had a conversation in years, but we can just pick up as if we were talking yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love that, and I wouldn't take that experience back for anything. I would do it again if I could. And everyone's like, okay, well, of course you could. I mean, but it's different now.
Yeah.
Life changes, right? But you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? I would do it for those
Yeah.
reasons again and again and again. And I wish I just discovered that sooner. You know?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely true. Like tragedy, like brings the good out in people. Like,
Mm,
because not no one superficial or someone that is into that stuff would ever be attracted to stuff like in the Philippines
yeah,
when we
it's so
volunteer.
true.
Like, can you really see freaking Kim Kardashian taking bucket showers? Like,
Yeah, but
no.
sure, but it's gonna be like selfie here, selfie
Yeah.
here. Look what I'm doing today, guys. You know, whatever, right?
And leave the next day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. It's just for
I
show.
so it definitely attracted genuinely nice people that you
Yeah.
can connect, and you had a common thing, like it was you
Hmm.
want to help people, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it just like the Philippines just taught me, like, man, these people just lost everything. Like
Mhm.
they didn't even have anything to begin with, and they just
Yeah.
lost it, and they were just so resilient. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just it was admirable for me to see, and it definitely, like you said, it taught me more.
Hmm.
And that I gave, like I felt like I didn't do enough, and they gave me more.
Right.
Like it definitely was.
You know what? It's an interesting thought to have because we are just reflecting back on it. I could think about our experiences, daily. But there was a lot of times when a lot of our job, what we had to do was tear down people's houses. And I'm like, and it was a job for us. We go out onto sites and okay, we got to tear down this house, and it was tough work. But at the end of the day, this was someone's house that we're now tearing down even more because you can't live in it. It was made out of bamboo or cinder block that had fallen and stuff like that. Um, this was people's lives, and we're here, I mean, obviously to help, but at the same time it became just a job, and I had to really reset my mind again because it's like, well, I'm smashing this block and it's physical hard work, but wait, someone just lost their house, and
Mhm.
whenever I have that reminder and I look around what's around me, it's like I'm good. You know, like I'm good. I can find ways to not complain today. You know what I'm saying? And
And
so
that's hard to do because it is so easy to just be so negative and like, why me? Why?
Mhm.
Like, I want more. Like, this is not what I like, right? But
Right.
it's just like, no, like, some people have it worse. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we all need something. And I had a previous guest on who's a friend of mine. He said everyone needs to be poor in their lives, and he's like, well, not
Yes.
necessarily poor, but like they need to have something like being poor or having some sort of
Struggle.
life altering, struggle to really reframe themselves. Because when you're life is on an up trajectory, you need to have a way to reframe and have some perspective. And I think that's really important. I think that's what all of this has given me, and I wouldn't have people to reach out to like you in a time like this if I hadn't done what I had done. So
Yeah,
grateful
for
overall.
sure. Yeah, same, same.
So I want to be mindful of time. I don't know what else you got going on in the day, but I appreciate us being able to catch up and you telling me about the status of the world in Houston. Sounds like everything's not fully on lockdown yet, and
No, no,
let's just hope
no.
it never gets there.
I think it will this evening, so I'll
Oh my
probably have to
gosh.
rush to the grocery store before
Okay.
they do.
Well, I'm gonna let you do that. But thank you for coming on here. We should do this more often,
Yeah,
whether it's on the podcast or not. I think we should just, be better at. Well, for me, I'm gonna say I should be better at keeping in touch.
yeah, no, like same, same. I'm not.
We
Yeah,
can get wrapped up in life.
I'm bad. Yeah, life happens. But thank you for having me, and
Yeah,
good luck with everything. And I hope I get to meet Cruz one day.
we'll
Like,
figure it
he's
out. We'll
so
make it
cute.
happen. We're gonna make it happen. Okay.
All right, we'll make it
Okay.
happen.
Bye,
All right,
Maria.
take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.